and welcome to Wholesaling Survival Kit. Now, I decided to put this together to help people understand everything that's involved. It's not just about making money, but you can make a lot of money, okay? That is one of the reasons I do it. However, that is not how I got started, and I want to give you a little history on that because you have to know some of this stuff before you do it, because you might get through this course, literally decide you want to do it, start this course, and halfway through say, this is not for me. And if that's what you do, that is exactly what this course is for. It's to weed out the people who it's not meant for, and to give the people who are still interested every single thing I do to be profitable and make money step by step. And I am in super casual and in not glamorous, because this is not a glamorous job. Wholesaling is not glamorous. That's probably the one thing that you should know. Module 1 is setting your system up for success. It's super, super important that you not just go to someone who's going to say, do you have a letter that's going to get me a response, or can I buy a list? But no, before you do that, setting your system up for success. And that means everything you need to know to be successful, including the logistics and the mindset. So just a little small 5-second background. Okay, 5 minutes. How I got started in this 12 years ago is that my husband and I at the time were getting a divorce. We had multiple homes, and everything but the primary residence was like in my name. And we both decided that I would take the fall for the investment homes that were stuck in the 2008 crash. And currently we were having trouble getting them rented for more than what we were paying for mortgage. And I was in real estate and he had a 9-to-5 making great money, but it wasn't enough to cover 3 mortgages while we waited for the right renter to come along, or people that were late on their rent to catch up. Long story short, I ended up short selling 2 rental properties that were in my name. And in this process, I wish that I would have had someone to help me. I wish that I would have had someone at the time send me a letter that said, you're not alone. I know you're going through this and this, and here are your options. And one of those options is a cash buyer. Now, maybe there was no cash buyers running around at that time. They were all institutional. Now there's just a bunch of individual investors. I never had anyone do that because people weren't doing that, and I wish I would have had that. So it's kind of like I built the system around what I wish I would have had. And at the time, I was a real estate agent, and I decided to go ahead and list my own properties as short sales, and got buyers and negotiated and figured all this out on my own, by the way. I have multiple systems, but we're getting to the wholesale part. So I presented to the bank a less than full offer and negotiated the short sale, figured out how that whole process works. And it was excruciating and depressing, and I felt like a piece of shit. And I didn't have a lot of support around me as far as boosting my morale, because people were like, well, you got into this. I mean, literally, you find out who your friends are when you're going through a lot of stuff. And it's not like I want people to say, oh, good for you, right? But I was in the situation. So some people are going to be like, well, you shouldn't have bought them in the first place. Well, you overextended yourself. Well, all that is good. So my first lesson to you right now in mindset is, if you're going to do this business, drop the ego and drop the judgment, because you will never get anyone to respond to you if you are going to judge them for why they're in the situation they're in. That is one lesson, the number one lesson why I get all the business I get. Because I know that there were realtors around me, friends around me, family around me, who judged me for doing what I was doing instead of, I can't go back in time, right? So you need someone that's going to reach out to you. You're going to reach out to people, and that person needs you to be non-judgmental. That is the most important lesson you can walk away with if you never finish any more of these videos. That's what you need to keep in mind, because that will get you business. And so after negotiating with the banks, out of both of these properties, one was in North Carolina, one was in Virginia, I ended up taking deficiency judgments. I did not negotiate the short sales, and I did not get out of paying the difference between what I owed and what I actually got the offer for. Short sales did go through. The banks did get less than the full offer, but I did not get out of the debt like I helped everyone from that point forward. I ended up with deficiency judgments on my credit report for the difference. One was $30,000 and the other was, I don't know, $50,000. The difference between what I owed and what it actually sold for. And so I'm telling you this because there's a lot of lessons in this. This is how it started. And when it was all done, okay, which took approximately around 6 months for both properties, I said to myself, and still there was no one reaching out to me, okay? There were no real estate agents, there were no letters, there were no calls, there was no one helping. I was figuring it out on my own by communicating with the banks, the bank reps, on my own. I'm telling you, I didn't know anyone doing this at the time. This was in 2010. So what happened at that point was I said, I can't be alone in this. There has to be a lot of people right now underwater and they need help. And they're probably not reaching out to anyone because they're feeling judged, number one. Number two, no one's actually reaching out to them with the right information or the right letter or the right communication or the right words to make them open the letter if they're letter. And also, I need to make a system where no one goes through what I went through. No one actually has to pay a deficiency judgment. And somehow I need to negotiate every single short sale, everyone who's behind or underwater, and I need to be the intermediary and the negotiator between them and the bank to the point that they do not have to pay the difference. So I learned everything I could possibly learn. I got certified as a CDPE, as a SFR, which is a short sale. I don't even remember right now. The CDPE is a certified distressed property expert. And then I ended up going with a CDRS certification. They're all distressed property certifications. I only did that to learn everything I possibly could so I could come up with my own system. It wasn't to copy theirs. It was to learn what I needed to be legit, to have a certification, to be able to communicate with the banks, to have one that related. So long story short, I came up with this system of how to short sell properties, how to market to find these people. And of course, being one myself that had to short sell, I kind of knew how to market and where to find them. Plus I had access to the MLS, to a program called Remine, which is a realtor access. You have access to public records. I mean, there's things you can do. You just got to think, you just got to think, but I'm going to help remove the thinking part for you. And so the mindset is you are out, number one, to help people. If your objective is not to help people, but just to amass great amounts of money, stop the video and go do something else. Okay. You will make money if your number one objective is to help people. I would never have responded to any communication that was sent to me in that time in my life if I knew someone was just trying to make $1 off me and not actually help me. And so if you're wondering what happened in the end, did I pay off all that money? No, I ended up filing bankruptcy. Once those deficiency judgments were tacked onto my credit report, it was a unsecured loan. And in the end, I just basically that and 1,000 other things that happened through divorce, that's what I ended up doing. Again, another terrible situation that makes you feel completely like a piece of shit. But there are a lot of people that have gone through it. And my goal again is to say you're not alone. And since then, 11 years ago, I have partnered with bankruptcy attorneys to help other people, one, avoid foreclosure, two, get through a bankruptcy real estate sale, and a variety of other things I'm going to create systems on. With all that being said, let's get into lesson number one, which is who you are targeting.